So, how does it feel looking forward and saying, we have a plan to be debt free by the fall of 2025? And then, you know, things open up and we start planning for our future. Has it gotten
Uh,
real yet?
It's weird. It's a weird feeling because Matt and I were just talking about it this morning. He's like, well, I still want these things, and he's going to be 50 in a couple of years, right? Um, you're welcome. But
Me too.
you're gonna be a 50-year-old that's debt free.
Well, hey, everybody. This is Coach Neil here from Money Coach Mike, here with two of my good friends and two superstars who have absolutely crushed this last number of months as they've been paying off debt and just getting their life back. So they're here to share their story. This is Allison and Matt. Say hey to all of your adoring fans out there, guys. So let's start here as we start to unpack this story because it's been an incredible journey. What brought you guys here and what made you guys decide to say yes to coaching?
Matthew, what brought you here?
Part of it for me was the amount of hours I was putting in and not seeing any changes. I got kids one in college and three more that are on the verge of college.
Mm.
The possibility of myself going back to school, being married 20 years and not having my own home yet. So I wanted to see someone outside of us to see where the money was going and how to straighten it out so that by the time I retire that I could have something and something that I could have put away for the kids and be able to relax a little bit if I had to put in a little bit of sweat and blood right now. So
Yeah, cool. Allison, what about you? Let's hear from your perspective. What brought you guys here and what made you decide to jump in?
I knew it wasn't a money issue for us. So, yeah. And I knew that we had been trying to do it on our own for a long time. And I had reached the point where I wasn't sleeping well, or I was panicking and checking the bank account all the time, and just reached the point that something had to change. And I've always been a fan of, you know, money and finances. And so
Oh, okay.
and I have been watching Mike for a long time, like online.
Okay.
So the Find More Money Challenge, anything that I could grab a hold of, I did. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you not talk to us maybe like a year ago even about the possibility of coaching and you decided not to back then? What changed?
Um,
Or did anything change?
I think maybe just I've had enough of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of it was for me, it was sitting down and seeing how much money we made, but yet the debt was just still accumulating, and Matt was working so many hours, and I'm like, something just had to change. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's dive into because I remember our first call and I remember we hung up and you guys hadn't decided. It was obvious, Allison, on that call, you wanted to do this. Matt, I wasn't convinced you were in.
no, not 100%. No.
Actually, I'll go one step further than that. I thought you left the call and you were angry. Was I right or not? I never thought that.
The totally honest, to see the money to pay for Mike is if we had that money, we could put it somewhere else and pay off something.
Okay.
And then, but Allison was like, we haven't done that, or it's the old teach a man to fish kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And the strategy would go past there. So
Yeah.
once that we could see that it would fit into the budget, that we could have Mike paid off before, well, 5 months he was paid off, and we're getting to reap the benefits from it now without having something like a credit card dragging on. He wasn't a
Sure.
debt that was dragging with us, and but
Yeah. So let's hear the numbers. And don't forget the 94 cents. How much debt have you guys paid off? It has been about 5 months because you guys came in after the challenge, had an extra month of coaching. How much debt have you guys paid off in the last 5 months? Drum roll, please.
just shy of $21,000, 20,801 and 94 cents.
Yes, amazing, incredible. And you got the little baby emergency fund still sitting there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There were a few events that's phenomenal on its own. That's almost $22,000 in turnaround. But there have been some significant events along the way too. A pretty significant truck repair that in the past would have been debt, right? Paid for with a credit card or paid for. So $2,500 truck repair. And you guys got some great news while you were in this process. I'd love to hear about how you handled what the news was and how you handled it.
So
Are you talking the $1,700 one?
Just the news that there would be a $1,700 expense coming.
I made him sweat for a while to ask me, but
yeah, so our daughter got engaged.
All
And
right.
normally it would have been or before coaching, it would have been this is great, but now how are we going to help pay for it? Or I wish we could help pay for it and we can't.
Right.
Um,
Full stress.
but it wasn't. We could actually enjoy it and be excited for her. Not that we wouldn't have been excited anyway, but yeah, because of what we learned, we just put it in our budget, what we could afford to pay cash for them. And we
Yeah.
sat down with them and we told them the things that we would pay for, without stressing about it. And
well, I think part of it too is I don't know if it's called Ramsey Kids or whatever back in the day, and what we've learned on here has influenced her decision making too. So she's not going all extravagant. Every time she comes back from college, she sits down with mom and redoes their budget and looks over things and
Yeah.
Kohu cards now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we got to affect the other kids, but it's working for her as well.
That's great. Yeah, I think I saw a page in your cash flow plan that's got your daughter's numbers in it.
yeah,
So
she wanted us to go through
she's
that.
kind of taking this plan on too. It's awesome. 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 So the grand total I have here, and we did forget one thing because you guys had the opportunity to help out some family, I remember, during this process.
I was gonna say I forgot that we paid part of my in-laws' tickets to go back to Newfoundland for a funeral, flight tickets. I
Yeah.
can't remember what the price was, but
Your siblings came together to do that, right, Allison? So incredible. But without including that, the total number we have here, $26,751
94 cents.
and 94 cents. That is amazing. That is amazing. So, what do you think was the biggest contributing factor or factors to help you guys make this much progress in such a short time?
I think step number one for us was trusting, because I knew possibilities. Matt wasn't completely convinced at the beginning, right? So trusting the process, and our coaches being willing to be all in. And once the debt numbers started going down, is when I started to believe it was possible. It's
Yeah.
like, well, wait a minute, because we were making minimum payments, right? When we could. So, but never really tracking the debt, right? Oh, there's a minimum payment due. We'll just pay it. Okay, that's done for this month. But seeing the totals change,
Yeah.
was big for me personally. And I remember even a month, I don't even know if it was a month in, it was pretty early on. And Matt's like, well, I'm not even really seeing a difference yet. And I'm like, I'm sleeping better. And that was a huge difference for me.
Yeah. It was a hard first month or two. I remember, Matt, you were working almost nonstop. There was
Well, I
a,
was
if in
supposed to be
case anyone's thinking this is easy, there was a lot of hustle, especially in the beginning.
Well, I was 4 on, 4 off, and I was pulling overtime that I could get. And when I first started with the government, I didn't want to say no to any shifts so that they would just keep phoning.
Yeah.
And so they kept phoning, even though so I was going and going and going. And like we talked earlier, there was months where I would do only 1 day a week off and getting paid double time and then not seeing anywhere any of it went or whatever, or wanting to go away other than just to the family cottage, like actually having a trip and can't go and do anything. Or we sold one of our vehicles end of last year, and need something a little newer or something for Allison eventually for her work, and not seeing where it was going, not seeing wherever, and coming home already carrying a little bit of baggage from the job that I do, and then not seeing where any of the money is going, and
Yeah.
then the day, like if I take a Sunday off, you're just tired all day, and then it's back to work for the rest of the week. And
Yeah.
at least now, like this Easter weekend, I'm not going back until my regular shift again. So, or
Yeah.
I'm with Allison's new job that she got in the middle of this, I can pick and choose when I want to go to work, and have the freedom now for the companies looking at me for leadership positions and stuff, and where I wouldn't have looked at before.
Very cool.
And that made a big difference, the new job, the being open to the possibility of things changing, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an uncertain whether you'd accept the new job, right? In the beginning.
Yeah.
Just different. I would commend you guys as one of the biggest factors that I think helped you guys turn this around was, Matt, you made the joke earlier that Allison always wanted to have her money meetings. And I remember you were the one that brought that up probably the most in our months together was we need to really solidify our day we're meeting, make sure we communicate about this. Cause then you were seeing where stuff was going. So guys, what would you say to a couple like yourselves? I think we talked like this has been like a 20-year journey for you guys. You've been married about that long, right? And money has always been a source of struggle and stress. What would you say to a couple like you guys who's maybe kicked around the idea of looking for help? Like they've tried the consumer proposal or bankruptcy or debt consolidations. They've dumped all their debt into their mortgage and it just keeps coming back. Like, what would you say to someone who's in your shoes where you found yourselves 6 months or a year ago?
For me, it was I needed the support. Eh, yes, from my husband, but also from outside, knowing that we would have to have some hard conversations. But having a coach who has been there, who knows what it feels like to not want to answer your phone or check the mail or yeah, 20 years is a long time to be carrying all this stuff around.
Yes.
And you asked us some tough questions and got us thinking of if we could have done it on our own, we probably would have in the past 20 years. So coming to the realization that we haven't been able to do it on our own, and we don't want to live like this anymore, and we don't want Matt to be completely exhausted because he's working so much and not knowing where the money is going, but also he's a dreamer. He likes to dream about things, and he would say what he would want to see in 5 years, and all I can think of was, oh yeah, but you don't know about the bill we just got in the mail, or
Yeah.
So I remember praying together one night and listening to his heart prayer, and for the first time I was at peace because we were on the same page, because of hard conversations we had.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think just that was a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Well, I think so. You're speaking to the people who are, they're stressed, they're anxious, overwhelmed, frustrated, we've tried this for so long and what's wrong with us? Why don't we make progress? Why do we keep falling back into debt? We pay off a little, then we fall back, or we just spin our wheels all the time and we work hard, right? And I've always contended that it's not hard work that kills people. It's hard work with nothing to show for it. Like not seeing progress toward the things that you really want. Matt, you've talked about owning property someday and having a place for your family to come to enjoy together. One of your guys' big priorities is giving. And I remember one of our first conversations was, guys, do you really think you can give that much this month? Right? Like, and also at the same time, you were saying, we want to give, it's important to us, it's a priority, it's what we want to do, like it's part of our relationship with God. And also we really struggle to do it. Lots of months we were not able to do what we planned. And so having to make an adjustment there, I think you you reduced your giving for a short period of time, didn't you? Getting started.
Mm.
Yeah.
So talk about what it's been like to be able to get freed up in your giving again.
Well, one of the Bible says we did back in the day was God save spend. So God got 10%. While we were adding on to the church, it was 12. So the church got 10 and 2 went to the building project. But 10 give God first fruits, and then we paid all the bills, and whatever we had left is what we had left. And then seeing how the debt snowball wasn't working, was what was left at the end was maybe a little bit more breathing room at the end, or
That was a turning point for me though, when I think you sent us a video on tithing. I don't know if you remember that.
Maybe.
Yeah, because it talked about when you're adjusting your budget, there are other areas that we could cut, right? Because tithing was important to us. And I
Right.
think that's when we started noticing that we actually did have control over our money. So we could adjust. We get to say where it goes.
Yeah. So guys, we've talked about this a little bit. Do you remember what your goal is for like your debt-free date? What is that?
It's August of 2025.
So that's almost exactly 2 years, right? Which is, again, that's what we tell people coming in. Our hope and our plan is, let's get you on a path to be out of this in 2 years so you can plan for your future. Let's not do this for 5 more years or 10 more years, because you won't get there. So how does it feel looking forward and saying, we have a plan to be debt free by the fall of 2025, and then things open up and we start planning for our future? Has it gotten real yet?
It's weird. It's a weird feeling, because Matt and I were just talking about it this morning. He's like, well, I still want these things, and he's going to be 50 in a couple of years, right? You're welcome. But you're going to be a 50-year-old that's debt free, and there's lots of people out there that you look at their life and you think, gee, I wish I was where they are at my age, but not many 50-year-olds can say they're debt free.
Yeah. Well, you guys have done an amazing job. I mean, and not just the numbers, the building of your relationship, the working together, teamwork, and Allison, especially you, the internal work that you've done, like the identity stuff, like, why do I think this way? Like, we would sometimes start our meetings, I remember, and it'd say, man, you guys are doing amazing. And you'd be like, oh, I don't know. I just don't know. It doesn't seem to be going that well. And I'm sitting here like, what? Like, you guys are crushing this. What's not going well? And you just start to unpack the feelings about your finances had been bad for so long, and that just clung to you, right? So you've really put in work on that front too, to find that, I guess, gratitude, but also talk back to the negative voices that feed us so often. So you guys have really just done amazing. And you're going to stick on with us in the back end for a little while and keep on going, keep crushing these goals. $26,000, you guys, over 5 months is phenomenal. And I guess we always make this offer, like we do it because we want to make sure you get what you came for. If we could give you back the money that you invested to be part of coaching, if we could trade that back to you, but you also have to take back the situation that you were in when you started, would you take that deal today?
Not a chance.
Matt just chuckles.
I thought you were going to say you're going to keep all that debt and just give me the money back.
Yeah, we're going to give all the debt to Mike now, and
Yeah.
Deal.
He's never offered that deal yet, but no, guys, you've done amazing. So great to work with you. You are just like the picture of what we hope to do here. When people come to us, you get our whole team. We jump on board with you and we just go after this together. So you guys have nailed it. I just say this maybe to close. If you're watching this and you're out there and you're like, how can we be like Matt and Allison? Like, we don't have a whole bunch of money sitting around. What's coaching like? We have no idea if it could work for us, but money's been tough for years. no idea what to do, we're stressed out and overwhelmed, just book a call. moneycoachmike.com/call. Book a call with us. One of our coaches will hop on with you. We just want to know, is your situation something we can help with? And these guys will tell you there's no big gimmick, no big push. There's just an invitation. If we can help, we'll invite you into a process of transformation, because we want to help as many people as we can. So guys, thanks for doing this. Congratulations. And let's keep going.